Welcome back to Marvel Maniac, an MCU after show. This is your host Eric Cicada, aka Mr. Honest. Now, if you look up on YouTube, Eric Cicada, aka Mr. Honest, that's where we are on YouTube for the podcast. It's like on a playlist on my regular channel, which I think is pretty cool. We are here today for Miss Marvel episode 6, the finale, season finale, No Normal. And I gotta say, one heck of a finale. I really liked this episode. It was a phenomenal culmination of everything the show has been leading up to. So, significant payoff. I missed this series and a few series on my off time. I was dealing with my personal mental health, and I always highly recommend that. Be honest with yourself about where you are with your mental health. It rhymed, and that wasn't on purpose. That's just the universe agreeing with me. And I'm not going to preach to you much longer. All I'll say is, if you feel like you're down and out and you'll never be able to get where you want to be, you can be doing it. And I'll say I might not be the most successful podcaster in the world at this living moment in time, and I may never be more, but I will say I love doing it, and it's changed my life positively for the better. And I'm so proud to be back here talking to you about a show from years ago that I missed and felt the anxiety of how will I ever put everything back together in the podcast when I keep missing things. And that's my little personal note at the beginning of this. I'm dedicating this episode to a past me who was in a much harder phase of his life. And not to make this whole thing about me, I apologize, but actually, don't apologize for being yourself. I don't know. The thing is, I just want to say I'm thankful to be here, and thank you for being here. Miss Marvel has been really fun to watch this season. I think they could do another season after, obviously, they already did the Marvels, which we're going to watch next. But I don't know if they'll go with another season, or really, if she can get her own movie. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think the movie would really hold up, and it makes me wonder if there will be another solo venture from her before that, because I think the movie really might just be the Young Avengers. Screen Crush gave it a different name because there's too many Avengers. I forget what they called it though. But it's a team up of all the younger characters. I mean, some of those younger characters are getting old now because it's been a couple years since they've been starting to set this up. It was pretty common for me and most to think that this is a kids show. However, getting to the end, it's clearly a must watch for at least the Marvels. And I think Kamala Khan is a character we're going to see grow up on screen. Similarly to Peter Parker, Spider-Man. I mean, Tom Holland, you might say he hasn't changed, but if you go and watch like Civil War, his voice is like an octave higher. He was a kid fighting all the Avengers. Oh my goodness. So I'm thinking we got something similar going on here with Miss Marvel. And I think a lot of people like her, enjoy her. Even when I saw the Marvels, people were obviously taking a dump on the movie because I don't know. I mean, there was one part, like the part where we were going to talk about it next time. But like, honestly, it was a great movie. I think she's got a lot of main character energy. She's got a lot of main character, and she's got staying power. I don't want them to like lose her too fast. I hope she makes it past Secret Wars. I hope she's in it. The fun thing is, it's been so long since an Avengers movie that we can almost barely imagine what the next one's going to look like with all these new characters. How many of them will come to play? Will Amelia Clark from Secret Invasion show up? Just like Captain Marvel did in Endgame and just end like the situation at hand. I don't think so. But yeah, there's a lot of emotional payoff in this series for Kamala's journey, from where she starts to where she gets in this final episode. I love the costume reveal. It was pure love, pure mom magic. I love the mom energy in this. I'm a mama's boy myself, not ashamed of it. And I think her mom is so I don't know, on the same level as her, where she just wants to support her daughter, even if she's going to be shot at with bullets. And her mom will stand there like, it's funny how the whole community comes to watch this final fight at the end. But it's also cool. It's like her community supports her. I appreciate the energy of it. And I think the show has this really special, uplifting tone. And it's lighthearted, yet at the same time very intriguing. Like last episode with the train and how that infinite time loop of Kamala was always there, and it was always meant to happen. So like, how did that happen? It's special. The show honestly is like 50 times better than I thought it was. I didn't read it right. Don't judge a book by its cover. It's true. But I love the costume. I think a lot of Disney Plus shows aim to get the main character in their unique costume by like the last episode. Falcon and Winter Soldier is my first thought, and I just I think it's perfect. I don't know if they changed it in the Marvels. I don't remember, but we will definitely see on the next episode if she gets a new suit. So I loved seeing Kamala leaping through Jersey like a living comic book. It's honestly iconic. I think they put a lot of visual effects into this episode, and for good reason, with all the Kamran stuff. And I just love her power. I love the way it looks. I just like the magic. I'm happy they didn't do another Mr. Fantastic clone where she's just stretchy like Mr. Fantastic, because we're about to get that in the Fantastic Four. So she's got her own kind of her unique version of Kamala Khan outside of the comics. There's that moment at the end that I guess comic book fans would have loved and went right over my head. I had to look it up. And Biggin, and she gets big and awesome and like super powery towards the end of the episode. That's her catchphrase. And what we were just talking about, how she's not super stretchy. She would usually say that before she became that way. But this episode kind of earned its own version of that. And I think that's really special. Kamala, she's confident, but still awkward. Like, she gets her super suit. She is in her final arc in this episode for the show, but she's still like a kid, and there's that kind of childlike wisdom. I'm going to say this because I'll forget it, but I love the full circle story with the kid who put ice cream on his pizza. He was on the social media montage at the end, and he was like, always putting ice cream on my pizza. I thought that was one of the most random, funniest jokes ever, and I think it's because the kid was like about to die, and I know Marvel gets wacky, but never usually that wacky. Like, the kid is about to fall and die to his death, and he's talking about putting like literal ice cream on pizza, and that's like his legacy. I think that it's so gross, but like, it's something you can imagine a kid actually doing, Damage Control was the antagonist in this episode in the series. The main one, Kamran, back and forth. He was more of like the self-destructive, not on purpose, antagonist, but he was really dealing with things, and it wasn't like he turned super evil. He got these powers out of nowhere when his mom died. She transferred them into him somehow, and right when he finds out his mom dies, he loses it. The damage control thing was funny because the school was shut down, and that's why they went there. So they have the showdown at a high school. It just makes the lady that's a head of damage control in this episode, makes her fall so much better because she totally bombs an order given to her by her higher up. They told them to leave, and instead they go in the school and take a bunch of shots at kids, destroying environments, being bad guys. Cameron's spiral was like this more centerpiece of the episode, while damage control was lurking on the outsides, creeping in, trying to get their test subject Kamran and see how he is the way he is. I think he's way more dangerous with his powers. However, I love the compassion Kamala shows him kind of the whole way, and she saves him and she saves everyone from like a car flying out of the sky to like so many people. Like, she saved like 50 lives at once. It was insane. I like Miss Marvel. If there's any times where I say Captain Marvel by accident, just know it's always Miss Marvel in this episode until we talk about the post-credit scene. It's kind of funny that I do that. So I do that sometimes, and I'll notice like way later, like when I'm like listening on the day before it releases on my walk, I'm like, oh no, I gotta go fix this. This show is all about family and identity and discovering who you are and getting to know yourself, like a time traveler who is kind of the reason her whole family exists. And that's complex and awesome. Yeah, I got my mind on that. I love the origin of her story. Marvel, she didn't just copy Carol Danvers. She has a reason, and her dad helped her realize that. And the love that her dad shows, top tier MCU dad moment. And honestly, great character. I love this character of Kamala's dad. I think he's really funny. I think the whole family dynamic works. I like her mom too, and her brother and his wife. Like, they do a really good job of keeping it a family show when you expect from superheroes, when everybody finds out they're going to be like, no, don't be a vigilante, don't be a superhero. Well, her family really supports her, which is really special. So they're kind of like cheering her on as if she's in like some high school sport when she's fighting guys with guns and stuff. However, on screen, I mean, I think it's beautiful the way her family supports her. And I just love the wholesome family centerpiece to the show. And it gives Kamala's story a lot more heart. So some key takeaways: this was a character first finale. It kept things pretty grounded. Kamala ends the season as a full-fledged hero. We get to see that transformation, and I think it was really well done and well earned. Themes of family, identity, community, and rising up into your name. She is not trying to be someone else like Carol Danvers. She's just fully herself now. And that's just amazing. It's something like the universe manifested for her. She's obsessed with Carol Danvers, the morals, the mystery, most likely, because she leaves for like 20 years at a time, saving the universe, which I'd like to see a little bit more of, maybe. I love Miss Marvel. I meant to say Captain Marvel, but I do love Miss Marvel too. I do love the Miss Marvel character, and I think the Marvels is going to be so fun to watch. I did see it in theaters, but that was a long time ago, and I'm really into Kamala Khan's journey right now. Also, stay tuned in the next few episodes. I can't say which one yet. I have a very big positive announcement, and I would love for you all to hear it. So just keep your ears and eyes open. I'll try and talk about the surprise at the beginning of the episode that I do reveal it. And then we'll be talking about it probably periodically for a bit. And that's all I'm going to say on that. I kind of like the underplayed story of Bruno, her friend, who I think it's clear he has a crush on her. However, he's just a solid friend, and he's seen her in situations where he felt awkward during the show. But I don't know how they'll bring him back unless they do a season 2, which I think is possible. Like I said, it could be a movie or season 2. They'll bring him back. I think he is her true love interest, but she's a kid, so we don't really need to see the kid fall in love. We just got Peter Parker's romances. We don't want to see a puppy love, which isn't gonna stand. But after a lot of big moments and earning it in this season, I think the future can definitely lie with them ending up together. I'm just shipping them. There's nothing wrong with male-female friendships, so that is a thing too. So Bruno at the end of the episode, it'd be funny if his name wasn't Bruno, but I know his name is Bruno. He tells Kamala Khan that she looked at her DNA and her family's DNA, and she has a different thing going on. She has a mutation, basically saying that the bangle, it activated something that was already in her. It wasn't just the bangle. That's pretty crazy. And then when he says there's a mutation in your genes, if you've seen X-Men 97 or the previous 8-season X-Men show, little slower than that. Oh my gosh, I love X-Men 97. Do you want me to cover it? MarvelManiacPod@gmail.com. Is that something worth it for you? Would you appreciate that cover? I liked the show when I saw it, but I wasn't back to the podcast yet. And I did go back and watch all the old episodes that led into 97. I won't cover those, but I am open to coming in and covering the new season of 97 for when season 2 drops. We could be ready and just go right into it. But MarvelManiacPod@gmail.com with your thoughts and input. Now, I wonder where this mutant plot leads, if anywhere, for Kamala. And I'm not going to spoil the Marvels too much, but I'll say they don't go too far into that. So maybe she'll be like an official X-Men. The fact that they did that X-Men 97 riff, is that a hint that they're going to make the new X-Men in the MCU similar to these guys in the show? So it's interesting, and I'm wondering if we'll find all that out before Doomsday or in Doomsday. Secret Wars Part 2. Yes, I think it's going to be a trilogy. I actually do think it's going to be a trilogy. They're going to announce a secret movie. We want this. The mid-credit scene, iconic. We got Kamala laying on her bed, looking at her bangle, and then she swaps places with Carol Danvers herself. She flies into Kamala's closet. This hypes up the Marvels. It really does feel like the next step. And I'll say one thing, it does pick up where it left off. Body swapping, teleportation. The theories went crazy. The internet broke. I actually avoided the ending like a plague, so when I watched it, it was a surprise. And I knew Brie Larson was going to cameo somehow. But I thought that was perfect. I love that they did that. Perfect cliffhanger. It tells you you will see Kamala again in the Marvels. So that was great. And it was a great episode. I tend to like look at a clock and see, I've been going for this long. You know what? I probably need to go 10 more minutes. But that's not right, because if I go for 10 more minutes for the sake of going 10 more minutes, it's not going to be fun for you. It's just me filibustering. So I think short and sweet is always the way to go. I mean, I can imagine sometimes I will, especially with the guests like TJ or Dustin, we will go on tangents, and that's just what people do together. The benefit of hosting the show on my own, I want to kind of make my goal to make these, let's say, digestible. I don't want to put every 2 a week episode 60 minutes long of me self-indulgently ranting. I do that no matter what, but I do want the show, and I just like keeping you involved with how the show's going, because I want your input too. MarvelManiacPod@gmail.com. If you're a new listener, if you're an old-time listener, what do you think? Do you have any ideas for any special episodes? Something you want me to talk about outside of the MCU? We are going to be talking X-Men and a lot of it, the movies and the spin-off movies, not really spin-offs, the different series of First Class. We're going to run theories on all of it, and I'm looking super forward to that. What did you think of Kamala's finale? Did the mutant reveal catch you off guard? And how hyped are you for our coverage of the Marvels this Friday? I'm really excited. Honestly, I actually am really excited. I may secretly watch Captain Marvel again before. Go listen to our Captain Marvel episode. It's in our backlog. I know the backlog's getting bigger, and that might be frustrating to search, but I gotta say, it feels good to have a good backlog, because, I love making this show. Thanks for being here. And if you've been enjoying the show, don't forget to rate Marvel Maniac wherever you're listening. It helps other fans find us. We really need more people listening, and you're amazing for if you don't do that. If you do that, you're amazing for being here. And if you want to support the show directly, join us at patreon.com/MarvelManiac. You'll get early episodes, Saturday, 10 a.m. Central Time bonus minisodes, and more. I'd like to thank Michael Finney, our first hero on our Wall of Heroes. You will get on our Wall of Heroes no matter what $3, $5, $10 donation you choose. You'll be on our Wall of Heroes, which is in our show description. And it's very exciting. You are my hero in a way, but going that extra mile, joining us on the Patreon, making a community, that's a big goal. Supporting the show if you can, but if you can't, don't worry about it. Don't worry your heart. Just be here. It means a lot for you to be here, and I thank you for it 1,000,000 times over. I can't thank you enough. Find me on most of your social medias at Marvel Maniac Pod. On X, I am at Mr. Honest, MRHON0N3ST. Mr. H0N3ST on Twitter /X. I post a lot there. I'll say it one more time. You have any thoughts, suggestions, anything? MarvelManiacPod@gmail.com. Thanks again, a billion. I think I'm overdoing my thank you section, but no, it just feels really good to have talked about Miss Marvel and had that excitement of talking about the Marvels with you on Friday. It's I'm a Marvel maniac. What can I say? And you are too if you made it this far. Y'all have a fantastic next couple days. I will see you Friday for that special episode, and then we'll decide where we go from there. This ship is ours to steer, and we will cover all Marvel because the multiverse is expanding, and oh my God, Doomsday is going to be so good, and Secret Wars. We got a long way to go. Sit tight. We got a lot to talk about. I'll see you next time, and until then, Avengers, disassemble.